Good morning. Welcome. Satnam. How's your morning going? All right, pulling out my notebook. I'm watching your chat right now. And when I know that someone's here, we can start. I do these things very impromptu. A lot of you have asked me to schedule them, and I just can't. It doesn't work that way, for me as a channel, right? To schedule something, because by the time I think I have a plan in the mind, the heart takes over, the spirit takes over, and then this happens. So if you will type back to me in chat and I can see that this is actually working, then we will begin. Because right now, I don't see any of you. And talking to myself is really weird. After 3 years of YouTube, it's still odd to talk to myself. Would it be for you? Hi, Hova. Okay, someone's here. Super. You can begin your questions at any time. I did a video, I want to say on Friday, and it was on Facebook, and it ended up that, hi, Dasha, good morning. I can see your chat now, so I'm going to move this over here where I can see you. And then I can just pay special attention to your questions. We have about 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes, actually. I'm doing very well, Source. What a cool name. Thank you for asking. Thank you, Andy. You like the light languages? What do you like about them? I did the light language videos a few years ago. Hi, Priscilla. I love you. Hi, Raven. So I did the light language videos a few years ago, and I thought I would give you brief examples of the different types of light languages that I've heard just at the basic level. So I did that, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was great. I figured that was you, Caroline. I saw the last name and I went, that's Janie over in England. And I was right. Thank you for confirming. Hey, Kelly. Hey, Julie. Hey, Suzanne. Hey, Morgan. Yeah, no, the Morgan, you've been trying to catch me live and you never can. I'm sorry about that. If I would schedule them, it would be perhaps easier for people to do that, but I don't. 7. Whoa, blast from the past. Hey. Hi, Leela. So I did this live Q&A on Friday, and I got to the point in the Q&A, for those of you following it on Facebook, it was live and free. It wasn't Patreon. And someone asked a question that really catalyzed me. And the question was, how do you start your spiritual awakening process? And it kind of went into a big spiel, is basically what I did. And I couldn't stop talking about it, how to start it, what the misperceptions are, especially in New Age communities, with what we think it is versus the simplicity and the safety of what it really is. So I started this Q&A to kind of expand upon that, to give you an opportunity to talk about what you experienced in your awakening and to get further clarification on it. And to talk about, my perspective, how I woke up and what your questions are about that and how it may apply to your life and how you believe or don't believe it could apply to your experiences in your awakening, if you think it's similar or not. So I'm open to your questions. I just wanted to expand upon that for a while with you. First question is from Amber. How do you stop a repeating cycle? Awareness. In the book that I'm creating called A Course in Forgiveness, there are several technologies. And the first technology that is given by Halal and Lilith, two of the very Christ conscious beings that I channel, awareness. You have to be aware of what you're doing that's causing this perpetuation of unforgiveness. So what are you doing that's causing you to not forgive an external circumstance or an internal circumstance? What are you doing that is causing you to not be aware? Like, where are your attachments? How could you possibly be attached to a repeating cycle? And then finally, what go deeper with me, Amber. What is your idea of what is a repeating cycle? Do you mean, some people could mean alcohol and drugs, addiction. Some people could mean repeating cycles in their loved ones and what they find in karmic paths with love. Some people could be attracting the same type of really annoying bosses. I get that a lot when I'm helping you guys in readings about that kind of stuff. So what is your idea of it? That would help me to know. But no matter what it is, you need to observe your attachments and where you are not forgiving something. There's something that Yeshua often says to me, and he has said many times in many sacred channel texts around the world. And that is, everything is love or a call to love. Those are the two things that are real. So if you can't look at your life and say, I absolutely love that cycle, then it needs more love. So how is it calling you to love something? It could be that it is calling you to forgive something. So it could be that. And normally, if the repeating cycle is still there, it's bringing a pattern up into your awareness where you haven't forgiven something, where you aren't seeing something as love and oneness. So just ask yourself those questions and you'll know, where it will come up. Yeah. What you resist persists, 7 says, and he is absolutely accurate. So what are you resisting? How are you resisting love? These are just questions that you can ask yourself. There's a class that I taught on Patreon called The Art of Spiritual Inquiry. And I tell the world this a lot. There's only one difference between me and other channels who don't envision themselves to be successful, accurate channels and connected channels. That difference is that I like inquiry. So I know that I need to ask questions. I know how to ask questions. I know what questions to ask. So in that class, there are, oh my gosh, at least 30, if not more, specific questions that you ask your higher self and that you ask your guidance that bring you deeper into awareness. And when you ask yourself those questions, you will get further, in what you're struggling with. Oh, that is a hard one, Renee. I'm really sorry that happened. I'll address it if you want, but give me a yes on that, because that's a heavy topic. She said she's struggling to forgive her husband with suicide. Hey, Audra. Much love to you. Twin flame questions. I don't know how these keep coming back to me. I mean, I do, but I'm trying to figure out how it is relevant in a certain sense to why you guys are so curious. You always ask me about twin flames. Her question is, did I incarnate with my twin flame in this lifetime? I've been told that many times and I want to confirm. I can confirm it, but the way that I will confirm it may not really ease your mind about it. Every single one of you has a twin flame. Because you are experiencing and re-experiencing life in a creative environment in parallel ways over and over and over again, you have the essence, the fractal of the essence of God in another being that is bringing something, mirroring something to you. That's all that it is. And if you personally happen to be well into your mastery, whether you know it or not, you are going to attract what I call a dharmic twin flame, which, by the way, is like the highest level of that particular type of connection. I have observed 7 types of twin flames in this creative experiencing, this time around. And if you happen to really be seeing everything as love or a call to love, and you have forgiven almost everything, or if not everything in your life, then you will attract a dharmic twin flame. That's dharma. Dharma is goodness. When you see goodness in everything, is the path to innate goodness and only love. If you're not, which is, by the way, the majority of society, percentage-wise, I've only perceived maybe about 10% of people on this planet to attract a dharmic twin flame. That means you basically done your work. I have a dharmic twin flame. 1, okay, right? 1. It's that rare. So for everyone that's going through their experiencing, there are 6 other types of twin flames that are also really, really powerful. and so expansive. And they give you opportunities for that essence of God that also is you to meet you. So those other 6 types, they come for different reasons, and it's impossible to say that you don't have one, at least one. But because there are 6 other types, and because you're a multidimensional beings, if all of the fractals of you, every single one of them, are operating simultaneously in Q with another person whose fractals are all operating simultaneously in Q with love and innate goodness, and you will attract Dharmic twin flame. That is the one that all of you are ranting and raving about and wanting so strongly. But it takes a lot of work to get there. Thank you, Julie. So with the other 6 types, let's start from the bottom. And I'll just list the common ones. I don't think I'll have time to go through all the 6. There's the karmic twin flames. They pull, I tell you what, karma is pulled stronger than innate goodness and true love. If you have it there, it will pull you away. Okay. So in the karmic twin flames, you could have a dharmic one and a karmic one simultaneously, but you're not ready for the dharmic one and you don't know that, and you will reject that person, not be attracted to them, and go for the karmic one. So sometimes the dharmic ones come and they're there, but you may not be attracted to them. You may perceive them as only a friend. This is the friend zone, is what I call this in dating. So many people are friend zoned that are actually perfect for you. So I advise you to go in just eyelids peeled back when it comes to twin flames, because you may start with the karmic twin flame and they hurt. You know, there's this poem that's circulating around the internet right now that's called A Reason, Season, or a Lifetime. And I strongly urge you to look up this poem. It's an anonymous poem. We don't know who wrote it. Actually, I do, but you don't. So go find that poem and you'll see what I'm talking about. And it's a brand new take on why love happens. And it either comes for a specific reason, that's karmic twin flames. You address the karma, you learn from something, and you let that person go, or your heart is broken in 1,000 pieces and it hurts like hell. And then there are the mirror soulmates, the mirror twin flames. They are there to reflect something in you that is asking for forgiveness or asking for more love. So again, back to those 2 reasons why everything is there. The 2 truths. Something is either love or a call to love. Mirror twin flames are there to mirror that opportunity, to give you an opportunity to either love something fully and go into Dharma with that person, which not a lot of you do. Most of you just kind of let that go too because it's hard. But you have to wrap things up karmically first before you can go there. So it's either love or a call to love. So it's either it's completely perfect or you need to forgive something. And most of the time it's the latter, not the former. They will mirror things that will be just like you so strongly to the point where it'll either be perfect or it will annoy you that they're so much like you. They normally are there for deeper levels of self-love within you. And the person's there to teach you, not the other way around. So that's the other type. The kindred spirit twin flames. These are the ones that have been brothers and sisters and strictly platonic connections in other parallel lifetimes, or what most people call past lifetimes. I call them parallel lifetimes. The past is incredibly relevant in my experiencing. I think everything's parallel from what I've observed so far. So the kindreds are there, but you just don't really you feel more like best friends with them. How do you know if you have a twin? If you're asking, then you haven't met them yet, and you don't. If you're with someone and you have to ask if they're your twin, they are not your twin. You will know instantaneously. But insofar as if you aren't with someone and you're asking if you have a twin, you probably just haven't met them yet, or you would know. And again, there's the misperception that I would like to bring to light that is so overwhelming, especially on YouTube in New Age spiritual communities around the world, is that there's just one. Well, that's true about Dharmic twin flames, but those are the rare types. There are 6 other types, 6 other opportunities at the minimum, and that's based upon my limited mind of what I've observed as a channel in this lifetime. There could be more that I haven't observed yet. So yeah, that idea of just one way to get to God is incredibly faulty. So if you feel like, say, a psychic or a channel tells you you've met one and that's it, and then it doesn't work, well, it didn't work because they weren't the dharmic connection. They just weren't. That means you're going to progress until you do find that. That's why we're here. We are here to experience and love. That's all. We're here for the love. Two reasons why Yeshua says we're here on this planet. Number one, to love. Number two, to be helpful. So yes, twin flames are relevant for that reason. You guys got me off on a roll again. When that happens, I just don't get to all your questions because we just keep going. So apparently this should have been a twin flame Q&A. We still have 20 minutes. Let me look at some of your other questions. Oh, this happens too. She said she met her twin flame in meditation, but he isn't incarnated, but still remains with her to guide her in her life and spiritual pathway. Those, my friends, are called split soul connections. So there's a fractal of you within that person and a fractal in a non-incarnated, a disincarnate person. And they sometimes, when I mean disincarnate, they could be unevolved and not really fully coming into a presence of enlightenment or connection to God. So they're serving you and it's a dual benefit. They're learning, you're learning. And then in the other case, they are completely evolved and trying to help you in more of a becoming an angelic guardian type of fashion. So those are rare as well. The problem, the opportunity to grow within that is that you need to give yourself permission to understand that that disincarnate twin flame, that split soul connection, is not going to come into a body again while you are alive. It's really, really rare. I'm working with one lady right now who's breaking the mold on that. And she's been through hell to be able to break that mold. But she is the one exception to, I've been doing readings for 20 years and I have not seen a disincarnate twin flame come into a form while the incarnate twin flame is still, here. It doesn't happen like that. Oh, Mike, I don't understand that question. Do I have like Austin Powers? I did not see that movie. Somebody did though, and someone can explain. It's just funny though. I get this funny image of this funny guy in glasses laughing at me with this obnoxious voice, and I don't know where it's coming from. Obviously, it's part of the movie that you're talking about that I have never seen. So you can feel free to expand upon that and educate me about Austin Powers and if I am like him, but I have a sense that I'm not. Someone asked about Trump's purpose. Janie, you're going to go there. Everybody's going to get pissed off because we're talking about politics now. I haven't even had a chance to have any plant medicine yet this morning. Give me a minute. He is here to catalyze you into forgiving what you have perceived as errors of shame in the human conscious collective. I'll start there. Any questions? Okay, I don't have to continue expanding. Can you talk about your awakening now? When and how did it happen? I woke up. I've had a series of awakenings, but my first one occurred at age 5. So this is another, I want to call it a misperception in the way that people think awakening goes. There's this misperception out there that you wake up and all your gifts are on and everything's perfect. You find your twin flame and you go into all your contracts and everything's great. Yeah. Dun, da, da, da. No, not so much. So I awakened at age 5 and it was scary. Not at first. The first thing was beautiful. I was in my parents' bedroom and we were poor. So we were sharing one of those modular homes, and my grandmother and grandfather slept in a room in that home. My father and mother and myself and my little brother slept in another room. We had these, I don't know if you guys understand, these 1970s modular home, the double wide trailers, you know what I'm talking about, with those sliding wood doors that are about this thick on the metal, things on the bottom, and you slide it. You can't even get up and go to the bathroom without waking the whole house up. It would just creak, and apparently my dad didn't understand the spiritual effectiveness of WD-40 because that door just was constantly waking us all up. Well, I tell you that because when I awakened, that door was wide open. No one was awake. That's not what woke me up. And there was a big being had opened the door and basically lifted the ceiling off my bedroom. I thought for sure I was dreaming. I'm like, oh, I don't know what's happening, but this is a really weird dream. And my whole room lit up. My parents were sleeping. It did awaken my little brother. We're 5 years apart, so he was a baby at the time. And he basically was sitting and standing. He pulled himself up on the edge of the crib and just pulled his whole little body up. And he had his little head over the crib railing and he was cooing and reaching. And I'm like, well, the baby isn't afraid. Then I'm not going to be afraid. So there was a being kind of right inside the doorway that was taller than my ceiling, that it had basically removed the ceiling. I could see nothing but the night sky and this huge 7 to 8 foot tall white being with golden robes. And the robes were kind of flowing. It kind of went around his neck and then this way out. There's a frequency artist named Kathy Shipper that recently, she's very good, by the way. You should look her up. She's quiet about it, but she's amazing. She recently drew this being. So this being is my unique guardian, and it was one of the first beings that I saw. And then I looked to the left and the right, and there were other beings. There was Archangel Raziel and Archangel Michael. And then as the experience went on, there were 2 other beings, 3 actually, Yeshua, Halal, and Lilith. Those 3 beings came and they were all guiding me through different levels of experiencing and awakening as a small child. So when I went up to the first being, who is my guardian, he touched me on the third eye here, like right in between my eyes, and said, now you see. And then on both ears, now you hear. Here, now you feel, on the heart. And then tentatively here, almost as if it was a question mark, very slowly and tentatively, the guardian touched me here and said, but will you choose to know? And that's how I woke up. I had to make a decision. And then the other beings got involved. Archangel Raziel showed me, this was the Archangel Raziel is the keeper of the Akash, the Akashic records. So Raziel basically opened up a book. Christians call this the book of life. And for those of you who are certified in my quantum alchemy process, we use this book now to access the Akash. So this giant golden book opened and all of its pages were avidly just flipping back and forth. And I felt like I should put my finger in them. This is for those of you QA practitioners out there, you're going to know this is where my process comes from. So I took my finger and I just went like this, stop. I put my finger down in a page and then that record would show me. And then I would put my finger down and then I'd see another record. And they let me keep doing that until all of my curiosity was satiated. And it didn't take long. But I got downloads of all of my lifetimes that were relevant to now, not all, but the ones that were relevant to now, in just a few moments time. Like it was as if time did not exist. It was this massive download, like pow, there they are. Very overwhelming and powerful. So after that experience, then I started working with Michael because I got a little afraid and he was trying to bubble me and protect me because I was 5. And then I started working with Yeshua, Halal, and Lilith, and they began to ask me questions. And one of them asked, would I choose love? No matter my pain, no matter my suffering, would I always choose love? And I said, yes. And they asked me a series of questions that related to my contracts. Yeah. So that was my first awakening. And then throughout the rest of my life, I've had several near-death experiences, and during each one, there would be a deeper awakening and a deeper awakening, which we should probably go into in another time because we only have 5 minutes. What is the significance of moon phase during birth? I don't really find a relevance. How can I say this politely? The earth is always spinning, right? And people are constantly questioning, is it square? Is it round? Is it flat? Is it this? Your answer is none, because it's not real. How could something that's not real have a shape? You dream a shape. In reality, it's nothing. It's here as a dream. So in unreality, which is what you're experiencing creatively, it's neither. It's not flat and it's not round. Okay, it's more like an oval. So anyway, how that relates to the moon is that things are constantly shifting, and the power of the moon is constantly shifting, and all the planets are constantly shifting. Everything is changing. So scientifically speaking, how can it be true that we are connected just by sun sign? Okay, astrologists out there, yeah, give me a nod or give me something. Basically speaking, it can't be true that we are strictly connected to the way the moon affects us and the way the sun affects us. The sun is always changing, the moon is always changing, the planets are always shifting, and the earth is always spinning. It's going to change. We are not set in stone with anything with astrology. I know that there are some systems that are a little bit more accurate than others. I really love Vedic astrology for that reason. You know, I love human design. There are some things that I really connect with, gene codes, fabulous stuff. But even that, if you look at that as a guide that is just set, you are putting this wall of limitation around you, and you're stuck in here, and that wall is going to get like this, tighter and tighter and tighter and shorter and shorter. So I don't squeeze myself that way, right? So when we teach ourselves the earth is either flat or the earth is round, or the moon does this because of our sun sign, or our human design does this because of that, it's just a belief system. Break free. That's all I have to say about that. Full moon affects everybody. The full moon affects the ocean. And we are, you know, how much percentage water? At least 60, not more. So of course it's going to affect you because science, not because of anything woo-woo, because science. Yeah. All right, just a few minutes left. Pop a question in now if you want one. I can probably take one more. That's a good question, Butterfly. She said, how do we go through this awakening process when the earth is where it is right now? Let's stop there because I already know what you're going to say. You're going to say the earth is in a crappy place and everything is in this place, and people are teaching that we're dying and earth is dying and everything's tragic and we're about to go through something tragic, right? I would like for you to question your belief system on that, because you can't go through awakening process while worrying that the earth is going to explode, or that you're going to ascend and everybody else is going to die, or that everyone else is going to ascend or you're going to die, or that something caustic and toxic and tragic and bad is going to happen. You can't safely expand that way. That is impossible. So that is one of the misperceptions about spiritual awakenings that drive me mad in New Age communities. The earth is a dream. You are creatively experiencing, and as long as you think that you are a mind and that you are a body, you will think that all of this is real. But everything that you're experiencing is a dream. So for those of you who are dreaming about heaven, it has never been this good on earth. I am, quite frankly, in heaven. And no matter what happens to me in my experiencing, I get to choose how to respond. And if you respond with love, it is heaven. If you respond with fears of everything that you're seeing on YouTube, even though it isn't happening and hasn't been reliably predicted as true yet, you are going to be experiencing a hell. So for the past 20 years, people have been experiencing and predicting, they've been experiencing predictions of apocalyptic events. Has it happened? We've had some tragedies. We've had 9/11. I was one of the ones who predicted that. Okay. And that is based upon powerful frequencies in thousands of thousands of members in a collective of humans are coming together to dream the same. And then 9/11 happens. So we have the 3 days of darkness that everyone's talking about. We have the event. Well, guess what? I've seen 3 days. I've seen 10 days. I've seen 11 days. I've seen 111 days. You want me to keep going? How many days of darkness? You're lucky it's just 3 this time in this experiencing. That's powerful. And remember, in my dream and prediction of the 3 days of darkness, I did not see the earth blowing up. I did not see, tons of horrible stuff. I saw it to be heaven for those who are breathing and loving and connecting, forgiving and loving everything. And then I saw some people being in afraid and experiencing it as hell. So that's going to be the same on earth no matter what. And for the past 20 years that I've been following people's predictions and providing predictions myself for you, this has been the same. And it will not ever be the same because it will not ever change because Earth is a galactic library of creative experiencing. Therefore, you're not going to blow yourself up. That hasn't happened in 20 years. So if I saw it was going to happen, I would have told you 20 years ago. Yeah, that's what I have to say. So I'm about to be late for my first session. I love you. Thanks for showing up. This was powerful this time. I really appreciated the connection. I'm trying to do it more often. And when I can get here a little earlier, I can, because I'm realizing that you guys are missing the connection. If you want more channelings and teachings, all of my channelings and teachings and my Kripa Yoga practice, my quantum alchemy work, all of that is on patreon.com/Pamela Aaralyn. You can find me there. If you want private sessions, just go to PamelaAaralyn.com. I will be offering a 33% discount for all patrons, new and old, when they join today. So you will see that offer going out today. If you want 33% off, you're struggling in budget, happy to help. So if you want to work with me one-on-one in anything, you'll be seeing those opportunities arise. Okay, I'll see you very soon. Sat Nam.